Good morning, all. My topic for today is categorical image classification based on representational deep network, that is ResNet. Let me just brief you about what I'm gonna explain today. That is the contents. Introduction, basically the very first topic is introduction and literature survey. Later, the CNN, convolution neural network, feature extraction, which is a part of CNN, and also classification. Um, then the main topic here is the ResNet architecture and the case study on hand gesture detection. And later we'll proceed with the application, advantages and disadvantages, and result, and finally the references. Okay. Um, Now let us start with our intro. What is image classification? Image classification refers to a process in computer vision that can classify an image according to visual content. That is, for example, if we are given any image and we have to recognize or categorize into a humans and the objects, it is basically done by image classification. Now, what is categorical image classification? As I said earlier, if image consists of objects as well as the humans, it categorizes the humans into the one category and other objects into different categories. That is basically the categorical image classification, and this needs thousands of images to train. Also, system needs more time to extract the features as well as classification. System, that is the computer, requires the more features or more time to extract these features from the classification. Then image image features are extracted from a pre-trained representational deep neural network, that is ResNet, and use that feature to train machine learning support vector machine classifier. And what CNN actually do is it convolves. Now, what is the meaning of convolves? Convolve is nothing but they combine or they roll or they append again and again, or they apply the same function again and again repeatedly. But it does. There is a false notation that it convolutes, but convolutes is complex. CNN does not complex the things; it actually simplifies the things. Okay. Our next slide is about literature survey. All these papers basically deals with the classification based on image, and all use ResNet and CNN. For instance, let us go through the first topic, that is SAR ship detection based on ResNet and transfer learning. What is SAR? SAR? SAR is a short form from synthetic aperture radar. That is, synthetic aperture radar ship detection has been a research hotspot and significant for marine surveillance. This paper, a very deep neural network ResNet, is high accuracy and faster training is applied. That is, in this paper, they have mentioned that it has around 50 layers of CNN as well as ResNet 50 is applied to detect ships in SAR images. What is the result we obtained from this paper is this provides average precision, that is AP, around 94.7% in 580 images, which consist of 1881 ships. Let's then move to deep tongue. That is, deep tongue is also based on image classification. It is helpful with those people with abnormal tongue, or with those with tongue cancer, etc. Again, what does this do is they actually capture the image of the tongue and then classify whether it's abnormal or normal based upon the thickness or the way or the size of the tongue, and so on. And if there is a cancer prediction, they actually classify whether the tongue cancer is present over there or not, with that person or not. Uh, Not only that, it also plays a major role in um, identification of handwritten character recognition, that is Chinese character recognition. That is it's one of the example or application of ResNet. Now let's move on to CNN. CNN is nothing but convolution neural network. As told earlier, convolve means combine or roll or repeatedly apply same function. This CNN has two major parts, that is feature extraction and classification, which we'll discuss later on. And then convolution neural network is composed of multiple building blocks. multiple building blocks designed to automatically and adaptively learn spatial hierarchies of features through backpropagation. What does that mean? Means it basically performs the function based on backpropagation algorithm. Now, what is feature extraction? Feature extraction is a process of dimensionality reduction by which an initial set of raw data is reduced to more manageable groups for processing. What does that mean? um, Feature extraction is nothing but uh, we the system extracts only those features which are necessary to determine or classify that picture into respective categories. And the feature extraction consists of three major process. One, convolution. Two, activation function or normalization. Three, polling, which we will discuss later on deeply. Deeper layer accommodate higher level features, that is more the hidden layer, that is what are hidden layers? Hidden layers are those which are between the input layers and the output layers. More number of hidden layers leads to deeper layer, which accommodate higher level of features. Feature extraction involves reducing the number of resources required to describe a large set of data, um, large set of data. This process requires large amount of memory and computation power. What does that mean? Feature extraction is basically the most important part of image classification. It nearly takes around 60 to 70% of computation power, and it takes a lot of time. Properly optimized feature extraction is the key to effective model construction. If the feature extraction is constructed in an optimized or a correct manner, the entire model will be more effective than any other model. So next, what is classification? Classification is nothing but categorizing different data sets into a respective classes or categories in classification. Is called classification. Classification in machine learning and statistics is a supervised learning approach. It is actually a supervised learning approach, and the process of categorizing is a given data set into classes. It is performed on both structured as well as unstructured data. The classification may be performed both on structured as well as unstructured data. The process starts with predicting the class of given data inputs or data points. The classes are often referred to as target or label or also categories. As I said earlier, we basically categorize the different data sets into their respective classes or categories. The main goal, that is what does classification do, is to identify which class or category the new data, that is we are providing the input, fall into. Whatever we provide an input in the next whenever we provide a new input, the what is classification or what is the result or what is the goal of the classification is, it just have to identify which class or category that the new data will fall into. Next, let's get into our actual topic, that is residual network, that is ResNet. ResNet makes it possible to train up to hundreds or even thousands of layers and still achieve compelling performance. The performance of many computer vision application other than image classification have been boosted, such as object detection and face detection also. It is actually a feed forward network. Now, what is feed forward network means? Uh, the feed forward network is nothing but the output of one function. The output of one function is sent as input to another or same function. Deep networks are hard to train due to gradient descent problem. As we can see in the graph, there will be a gradient descent, which is actually a problem when we train as well as test test the data sets. That is more the deep, that is more hidden layers, it will lead to a gradient descent problem. Now let us see the ResNet architecture. As we can see, the rightmost one is the ResNet architecture. I hope that is visible. um, it consists of one convolution and one pooling step, the first two one, the followed by um, first two one, yeah, this two. this one and this one. Okay, followed by four layers of similar behavior. Similar behavior. That is, convolution is con- uh, convolution is take. I mean, held for about four layers. Each layer followed by same pattern. It is done multiple times. That is recurringly. The dotted line represents there has been change in the dimension of input data or input volume. uh, why is this? We'll discuss it later. This change is because of increase in stride. Now, what is stride? We will discuss later as well. One second. Yeah, the another view of ResNet. Yeah, this image gives more clear picture what exactly is going on. See, first the 3 cross 3 or 224 or into 3 is convoluted or convolved into 64 cross 126 112 layers, and then 56, and then 28, and then what we are actually doing is we are reducing the entire pictures into a single layer or a single array, and then it is applied to a classification algorithm. Okay, let us now deal with all the three most important layers or function in ResNet architecture, and those are convolution layer, activation function or normalization, as I told earlier, pooling layer. Yeah, let's start with convolution layer. Convolution is basically matching up of input image to a trained image, but the entire image is not matched directly. We are not completely matching the entire image. We are actually dividing the entire image into different parts or different parts. These parts are then matched or compared with the trained data. This is not a single step process, as convolution refers to a repeated process. It is a repeated process that is convolves again and again. Yeah, let us have a small example. Yeah, where, yeah, consider an example where it is a binary colored, that is black and white, XOR cross mark, that is white color cross mark on a black background. Now, what we have to decide is whether those two images are similar, that is both are X or not. What computer sees is uh, all the white is filled up with one, and other than white, there is a black one is filled with -1. Then uh, what convolution neural network, that is convnets, matches the pieces of the images. That is, we can see that green one and the orange and the purple one is matched with the green, orange, and the purple one with the other image. What we are actually doing is we are dividing the entire picture into parts, and by doing that we obtain feature window feature window, as we can see in the right image. And these feature windows are then moved on the entire image, while comparing each blocks of the window on the entire image. And we compute, as we can see, there is 1 cross 1 is equal to 1. That is, we are actually multiplying, or we are actually placing the window over the entire image, that is a part of that image. And um, we actually compute and we decide what is the value of the entire block. If it matches completely, we'll get the maximum value as 1. If there is any other, that is, if doesn't match completely, we actually add those values in that block and divide it by the number of blocks in it, and the answer will be replaced in that image. By doing this, we get the featured image or filtered image. As we can see, all the parts or all the window, when applied or when moved in the entire image, we get those featured image, resulting featured layers. Okay, then what is next is the next process is the normalization, or we can also call it as activation function. Now, what is an activation function? An activation function is the one which speeds up and simplifies the computation. It basically helps in faster computation. The best activation function is rectifier linear unit. Why rectifier linear unit? Because linear unit is nothing but all the negative. It's actually a function wherein all the negative value is replaced by zero. All the negative value is replaced by zero, or and all the positive values is retained as well as it is. So we can see all the negative value here is replaced by zero in the figure. Later we pool. Okay, our next topic is pooling. What is pooling? Pooling is nothing but the feature layer, the shrinking the feature layer. We obtain the feature layer during our convolution layer, shrinking the feature layer. There are basically four steps to be followed during pooling. They are: pick a window size, which is actually about one or two. Pick a stride. A stride is nothing but, as I told earlier, it is actually a jump. It is actually a jump from one part of the featured image to the other part. When the that is, we can move the window size into different parts of the image by specifying the stride. What is the third step? Walk the window across the filtered image. As I told earlier, um, the window must be moved or compared with entire featured image, and take the maximum value, and then take the maximum value. In the left image, we can see that the maximum value is 1. So hence, we are and the stride here is 1, and the window size is 2. That is 2 cross 2 matrix. Then we are comparing that image, and the maximum value is input to the next one. Similarly, when this process is completed till the end, we get the reduced or shrunken part of shrunken feature layer. That is, it was previously 5 cross 5, and now it is sorry, 7 cross 7, which is now 4 cross 4. This process is called max pooling. Finally, what does yeah, layers get stacked. These layers get stacked. The output of one becomes the input to the next level. So as I told earlier, convolution is basically repeated application of the same function. This deep function, this can be done multiple time, resulting in a deep stacking. uh, Deep stacking is nothing but the convolution ReLU as well as pooling is applied multiple times, which reduces to a very small image or very small featured image, featured layer. And then this feature layer is um, converted into 1D array, 1D array, and then the maximum value is then valued or voted, depends on the how strong value predicts X or 0. In our example, it's X. Yeah, that's about ResNet architecture and ResNet. Um, Now let's see the real-time case study on hand gesture detection and classification using convolution neural network. What basically this real-time hand gesture means is, um, we consider we are watching a movie in our laptop. Excuse me. Yeah, we are watching a movie, and we have to pause for a minute, um, and we are far away. But if we want to pause in this image, if the image or hand gesture detection is installed in our laptop, we can just show, or we can indicate by just showing the palm. It will be paused. um, in the flow diagram or a flow chart, we can see that a sliding window, that is actually an image, we are detecting, or we are um, providing the gesture. Then the detector detects and then classifies, and then it is paused. And it paused. If not detected, the video will be resumed. Now let us get into application. Uh, ResNet has a most application in major fields like medical field, defense, text classification detection, and others also. Let us see one by one. Medical field like early skin cancer detection, malaria cell image classification, and sign language detection also. Sign language is for those who cannot understand or those cannot hear. In defense, like ship detection, as I told earlier, SAR is one of the example. Black box smoothing, which is actually used when any kind of um, air crash happens, there will be a black box present in it, and it may get damaged, and then that must be smoothened so that the whatever the conversation was held, we can smoothen the smoothen the audio as well as the images if present, and then we can enhance that. And later, cyber defense cyber defense as well. Text classification and detection, and high accuracy text detection, handwritten detection. As I told her earlier, Chinese characters can be categorized or classified. Other than that, detection of fire and non-fire is also one of the application. Later, the advantages and disadvantages. They elevate the vanishing gradient descent problem, strengthen feature propagation, encourage feature reuse, and substantially reduce the number of parameters. Now, what is the disadvantages? ResNet is only a proof of concept. It only demonstrates how the idea of identity mapping, namely residual connection, boosts the learning process by enhancing information flow in deeper network. It's actually one of only one disadvantage in this ResNet. Now, result analysis. Image classification based on ResNet or representational deep network classifies the image into their respective categories, as I told earlier. This classified image is more accurate when there is multiple layers between input and output layers. That is, when there is more number of hidden layer, more the accurate the classification would be. This ResNet fastens the feature extraction process because due to the normalization and multiple pooling, as well as using of ReLU function, activation function, etc. What is the conclusion we get is the system works well with many stages for feature extraction and classification. Here, the convolution, ReLU pooling will works together. That is, conclusion is nothing but the result analysis. As I told earlier, the due to convolution and ReLU application, or the activation function and the pooling, it works really well, and ResNet give better performance. And these are few references which I have studied, gone through. That's it. Thank you.
Abhishek, take any questions from of the participants or Victor sir or Kavya ma'am, anyone.
Yes, sir.
Any participants if they want to ask any question, yeah. I think Victor sir has something to.
Abhishek.
Good morning, sir.
Abhishek. Yeah, morning. Yeah, well, you were able to do justice to it, okay, but only if you answer this, then I will say Paka is done. So Abhishek, if you go to, you mentioned something about back propagation, right? Can you
Yes,
go
sir.
to that slide, please?
1 second. Yeah.
Okay, so where is it? You mentioned back propagation, right? So can you just tell me, I mean, with reference to this, yeah, I'll come to your vanishing gradient. That would be my next question. So back propagation, can you just give a classical example how that works? How back propagation works?
Actually, it is a
Yeah, here.
supervised learning, sir.
Yeah, good. So can you take a simple example and just explain back propagation?
Like, sir, any example or what? I didn't get you.
Yeah. Okay. So if you remember, we said here, is designed to automatically and adaptively learn special hierarchies of features, right? Through
Yes, sir.
a backpropagation algorithm, right? So
Yes, sir.
backpropagation is not a black box. It's not a black box, right?
No, sir.
It's not a black box. Yeah, so can you just explain what we mean by backpropagation? Okay, to understand this better, can you differentiate it from forward propagation or propagation itself? See, we have forward propagation and we have backpropagation. If you understood these two, then it's fine.
Back
Did you
propagation
look
is
into
no, sir. No, sir. Back propagation is nothing but we what do you say? We actually move from the output. For us, it's an output, and then move into the input layers. That is multiple layers. Back
Yeah, that's true, but
propagation.
yeah. So why do we need it actually? Why do we need backpropagation?
So basically, classification, sir.
Okay, classification. Okay, you didn't, but anyway, you didn't look into this, right?
Sorry, sir. I didn't
Who
get
is
you.
talking now? You didn't look into this, right? Yeah. I mean, you didn't look into this, but you
Not
have a faint idea. Please just look into that. And another thing, okay, see, you said something about dimensionality reduction. Can you give me examples of algorithms that help you to achieve dimensionality reduction?
sir. Your voice is breaking, sir.
Abhishek? Oh, sorry.
Hello.
Okay, I'll type it. Dimensionality reduction. Dimensionality reduction. All right. I don't know this from myself. Okay. Okay, it's okay. I will just ask one last question and that's it. Okay. So,
Yes.
Abhishek, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Abhishek? Yeah. Can you explain what we mean by gradient descent problem? Gradient descent problem.
Gradient descent problem, sir.
Yes.
Basically, what is gradient descent problem is um, 1 second. They actually occur in what gradient descent algorithm is nothing but we learn right set of parameters. We learn right set of parameters wherein multiple iterations will lead to corresponding lowest loss. We basically are trying to reduce the loss, sir, in gradient descent problem.
That is true. Why does that occur? Why?
Because of multiple layers, sir. Like more the number of layers leads to the.
Okay. Anyway, you have an idea because even Chetan Kumar will disagree. Okay. He's worked more on this stuff. So is gradient descent problem the same thing as vanishing gradient? Is it the same?
Which one, sir?
Is gradient descent same as vanishing gradient? Is it same as vanishing gradient?
It's somewhat related.
See, your topic is very nice. Okay. Yeah, somewhat related. Tell. Yeah. Is it same as vanishing gradient?
Yeah, it is somewhat related as well as. Yeah, I think it's same, sir. I have not gone through that, but it is same, I guess.
Okay. Okay, please. I will request Suhasa, please, maybe to give another maybe 10 or 15 minutes, okay, after this session ends, so that people can actually ask questions. Because Abhishek, your topic is very interesting, okay? Later, I will call you personally, and then I have lots of questions, okay?
Okay.
So,
Sir.
yeah, that will make you, to have a proper understanding. Because the same thing you've worked on, okay, I think even Chetan has worked on. You said application is in detecting of fire, right? Fire.
Yes, sir.
Right. Go there, detection of fire. Yes, yeah. So even Chetan might have some questions. So I will request Suhasa, please just give like another 10, 15 minutes so that audience also can ask questions.
Please,
For now,
please,
I'm
sir.
done.
Please
Okay?
go on, sir. Please
Yes.
go on.
Yes, sir. No, I mean, because the session will end now. So I want other students to ask if they don't have any questions, and even ma'am also is here.
Right.
So if they don't have any questions, then yeah, after the session ends, I have 1 or 2 questions. So yeah, because if you see here, you said something about detection of fire. No, I saw it somewhere. Yeah, detection of fire and non-fire. And I know maybe Chetan Kumar might have a question.
They're working on
Okay?
the same
For
problem
now,
statement, yes, sir.
Yes. So for now, I'm okay. I'm through with my questions. Okay, let other people ask. And please, we will back after after this session ends. Thank you.
All right, sir. Yeah, Abhishek, appreciate your work. So good. So keep us updated, okay?
Okay,
Right.
sir.
If anyone else has any of the question before your session ends, you can take the questions. If not, you can drop the session here. Let the Chetan start with that.
Okay. I'll stop sharing, sir.
Yeah, I guess so.